20-year-old suspect has appeared in court following the gruesome discovery of 6 decomposing bodies in a panel-beating workshop in Johannesburg. Police were called in on Sunday to investigate a foul smell. Inside, they recovered bodies that were in various stages of decomposition. Our senior reporter Aviwe Mtila was in court where the case was postponed. He joins me now for an update. Aviwe, it's a very difficult story to follow because of the gruesome details. Tell us what happened in court today.
Very gruesome story indeed, but the suspect, who just turned 20 in September only, made his first appearance at the Johannesburg Magistrate Court. The state believes that this was a premeditated murder case, therefore believe that they have a strong case. And in fact, they say they have video footage as well as eyewitness, a sworn statement from an eyewitness who was there on the day. So they say that...
And this only links to one of the bodies found, is that correct?
One of the bodies, that's the interesting thing, because as much as, of course, we heard in court today that this suspect can't be named because they still need to do identity parade. So they've given the next 7 days for that process to unfold. Hence, we were told to go back on the 18th of October. That's next week, Tuesday, then where we can officially name and film the suspect. But as you mentioned, Annalie, the case itself is around one of the bodies. Remember, there were 6 bodies discovered just on Sunday. It's pertaining to one murder charge there, something that the NPA actually spoke about, Pindi Mjolando, and I'm trying to explain why there's only one charge instead of the 6. Let's take a listen to Pindi.
We can confirm as the NPA that though 6 female bodies were discovered, at this present moment the accused is charged with only 1 count of murder. Reasons being with the current evidence that is contained in the docket. As the NPA, we can only prefer 1 count of murder against him, and we further instructed the investigating officer to conduct certain investigations in order for us to have a clear picture regarding the circumstances surrounding the deaths of the other 5 female bodies that were discovered.
It's a very worrying time for sex workers who obviously feel that in this instance they've been targeted. And we saw some sex workers protesting outside court. Did they say what that was about?
So you understand that, Annalie, this is believed to be sex workers. The 6 bodies that were found are believed to be those of sex workers. Some of them were outside court saying that, in fact, they know the suspect and they themselves have their specific stories to tell. They've got scars to show at the hands of the suspect, who they say that they escaped near death. So some of them will be part of those that will be part of that identity parade, sharing their own stories. Interestingly enough, there are still 6 more bodies. And sitting next to the investigating officer of this matter, he tells me that there are still 6 more sex workers that are missing at this stage. That would add on to the 6 bodies that have been found already. But we had those conversations just before the court case started with the Sisonke sex worker advocacy group that speaks for sex workers and some of the sex workers. Let's take a listen to what they had to say.
After the identification of bodies yesterday, then we went with some of the sex workers to the police so that they can also go to the crime scene, because there are also those who survived, like they've got scars to say, this particular man did this, you see this scar, this particular man. So we will also say, we are encouraging them to say, come forth, bring your stories, we believe in you. Then that's what the investigation now is going to be telling, because we are suspecting, because based on what we heard yesterday, it's more than 13 women that are missing. So out of 13, only 6 is being identified.
Aviwe, sex workers also calling for the decriminalization of sex work.
You'd see those placards just outside the Johannesburg Magistrate Court, which in large talk to that. They're saying that they're living in fear. They're being targeted by not only society, but also the police, who threaten them with arrests if they don't have that exchange of these sexual intercourses. So they're saying that they want this to be decriminalized so they can have a free will to trade and more safety in that, where they have regulations and it is an official business without it being done on the secrecy and the darkness of it all.
Well, thank you for bringing us that update. We'll continue hearing from you as that court proceedings unfold on the 18th, you said?
18th of October, yes.
That was our reporter Aviwe Mtila following that story for us.